Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trilokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Twameva Mata Chapita Twameva Tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva Tvameva vedyadravinam Tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Jai. Yata sarvani bhutani pratibhanti stitani cha yatraivo pashamam yanti tasmai satyatmane namaha. So where are we in our text?
Chapter 22, number 3738 on page 232.
You have it?
Yeah.
Let me give you some light.
Should I begin?
Please.
Sarvam brahmeti nischitya nityatma chabratam charet atmar chana vidhanesmin prokta dravya shriyastuyaha eke naiva shame naita rasena paribhavitaha. Having resolved that everything is Brahman or the Supreme Spirit, let one practice the religious vow or austerity of worship of the eternal self. In this mode of worship of the self, whatever auspicious materials are prescribed for worship in general, these are conceived solely by the sentiment of tranquility.
Yes, so the idea here is, in the beginning, we are enjoined to worship the deity as we understand it. It can be the goddess, it can be Lord Shiva, it can be Allah, it can be Jesus, doesn't matter. And as Kena says, Kena Upanishad, it is not that which you worship here. When the mind has become sattvic, it naturally turns within, and we are inspired to begin the path of self-inquiry. And the highest of all worship is reveling in the self. When the mind can be absorbed in its source. Atmaramana. Now, in terms of the outer, you may revel in the self through some external form. You may like to sing the Lord's praises. That may float your boat. You may revel in the halls of Vedanta. That may be your mode of worship. You may like to do long meditation retreats. You may serve the society, be a karma yogi, but always knowing these are various external forms. It's all karmic to worship the self. And why should we worship the self? Because the self is the most beloved. And we go back to what I call the ruthless rule of the mind. From the moment you get out of bed to the moment your head hits the pillow at night, the only thing we ever do all day long is seek the good by our highest understanding of the good and endeavor to avoid misery. The only doubt we ever have is where is the good? Oh, it's my very self. What I'm looking for, I'm looking with. Or you don't need any particular form. It can be total absorption in the now with whatever your vyavaharika, your worldly duties bring to you. Worshipping the self in and through all the phenomenal objects. Any thoughts on this? Next one.
शास्त्र शास्त्रार्थै बुध्यते नात्मा गुरो वचनतो न च बुध्यते स्वयमेवैष स्वबोधवशत स्वतः गुरुपदेशशास्त्रार्थै विना चात्मा न बुध्यते एतत् संयोगसत्तैव स्वात्मज्ञानप्रकाशिनी. The self is not comprehended or perceived by scriptural precepts, nor by the words of the Guru or spiritual guide. It is perceived by itself on account of one's knowledge or awareness spontaneously. However, the self is not perceived without the teachings of the spiritual guide and scriptural precepts. The existence of the combination of these two alone is the manifester of the knowledge of one's own self.
Yes. So as Gita talks about it, jnanam vijnanam cha. Our understanding and our direct experience come together at the same time. Or our paroksha jnanam, our indirect knowledge, which we get from study of the scriptures and the words of the Guru. But then our aparoksha jnana, our direct experience. And when that understanding and that experience, what do we mean by experience? When the mind becomes no mind, when in the space between our thoughts, when the thoughting ceases for a moment, with the attentive faculty introverted, who am I? And then the subtle intellect has this aha, oh, there's nobody there. And with that insight is the clear understanding that any ego sense is false, mithya, illusion, vaipatya, false. I'm not a person anymore. The truth was, I never really was. I just thought I was. This abandonment of identification with the upadis, the body, mind, intellect complex, seeing the fundamental unreality, the ephemeral nature of a perceiver, feeler, thinker entity. And how is the self known? The pramana, the means of knowledge for knowing the self, is the self itself. You do not see, hear, taste, touch, smell, emote, or think yourself. Yet you do not doubt that you are. How do you know that you are? I don't know, I just do. That's right. Who knows it? I do. What's the means of knowledge? Me. What is that which is known? Not as an object. Me. And the great cosmic joke is everybody already has it. So what is moksha? What is liberation? It's this transformation in the subtle intellect. Pratyabhijnanam, this recognition. Or in the subtle intellect, I go, oh, not I know Brahman, but I am Brahman. I'm not the body. I'm not the prana. I'm not the mind. I'm not the intellect. I'm not even deep sleep. I'm not the ahankriti, the little stupid ego. All of that is mithya. Koham. Chidanandarupam. Shivoham. Shiva. And what is this insight? This vipassana. Give us freedom from existential fear. I'm absolutely safe. Always. And now I know where happiness is. Happiness is casting off the cravings, the attachments of the mind, letting the mind come home. Come home. And Swamiji would used to say, hurry home, hurry home. Or as the Hebrew psalmist says, taste and see the goodness of the Lord. Brahmananda rasa swad. 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 。 。 . 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 . 。 。 。 。 . 。 . 。 . . . Next.
एवं देवार्चनं नित्यं य करोति समाहितः यत्रात्मदयो भृत्या तत्स याति परं पदम्. One who ever performs thus the worship of the deity, absorbed in it, he attains to that supreme abode where even people like us are servants.
Yes. So greater than even the gods is the sage of steady wisdom, Vasishtha Prajna Purusha. For he knows or she knows my very self is the absolute. Where am I to do pranams? How can I bow down to the divine? I am Atma, Brahma. This very self is Brahman. Next verse.
इत्युक्त्वा नीलकण्ठोऽसौ अन्तर्धानं क्षणात् गतः ततः प्रवृत्तितेनैव क्रमेणार्चनमात्मनः अद्य यावत् गतव्यग्र कुर्वन् अहम् अवस्थितः. Having spoken thus, that blue-necked Lord Shiva became invisible in a moment. From that time onwards till now, I remain performing the worship of the self by that very method, free from perplexity.
Yes. So, to sum all this up, my favorite shloka from Gita, chapter 2, number 55. When a person casts off all the desires of the mind, O Partha, and is satisfied in the self, by the self, then they're said to be a person of steady wisdom. One can get all caught up in the various branches of yoga and these practices here and those practices there, and the study of this arcane knowledge and these secret things. No blame. Whatever we need to do to occupy our time while the Lord does his work. But in the end, cast off all the cravings, all the desires, all the attachments of the mind. Meaning, pay them no attention. Don't believe them. And then let the mind abide in the self. Next one.
अनेनार्चा विदाधेन मये मे रामवासराः अखिन्नेनातिवाह्यन्ते व्यवहारपरा अपि. Rama, by this mode of worship, these days are passed by me unwearied, though such days are wholly occupied with work.
So it's a paradox. What does the body, mind, intellect do? It fulfills what we call its prarabdha karma. Shankara has this marvelous metaphor of a hunter who thinks there's a tiger in the bushes and he looses the arrow. That's you and me being born to accomplish this, that, and the other thing. But then the tiger moves out of the bush and we see, oh, it's a sacred deer. Oops, you can't bring the arrow back. So your equipment will go through its allotted dose of successes and failures, joys and sorrows, accomplishments and defeats, conducive and non-conducive situations. But the jnani has no particular concern for it. Don't worry. Do the next right thing that's right in front of you. Work hard, vyavahara. Strive for excellence. But remember, thy right is to work alone, never to its fruits. Krishna says, I am the karma paladata. I am the giver of the fruits of action. Letting go of any concern, no attachment to the fruits of our action. Circumstances will reveal to you what you need to do. Well, am I in the wrong job? Am I doing the wrong thing? You can't make a mistake. You're where your karma has put you. So do your work in the spirit of service. If you're not doing what you love, practice loving what you do. And give the results to God. Remember who you are. Remember what you are. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. All this is verily Brahma. Take it easy. Don't worry. Any thoughts? Any questions? Oh, I have such regrets for the past. I shoulda, woulda, coulda. No. You could not have done any differently. It was your karma. What about tomorrow? The stock market, real estate, politics. Don't worry. Your peace of mind and your happiness has nothing to do with all that. Now, that doesn't mean that you're vyavahadika, your worldly transactions are irresponsible. You've heard me share that great Sufi saying, trust God, but tether your camel. It's not an invitation to irresponsibility. But as anybody who's been in the military knows, no battle plan survives contact with the enemy. You never know what's going to happen. Any thoughts on this? The work to be done is right in front of us. Always. Next verse.
अनयैव च सदृष्ट्या सङ्गमुक्तेन चेतसा संसार विरलारण्ये विहरास्मिन् च खिद्यसे. With this right perception, verily, and with the mind free from attachment, sport or move about in this long wilderness of worldly existence. You will not be wearied.
You will not be worried.
Wearied, like tired.
Wearied.
Yeah, wearied.
Wearied. Okay. So, what fatigues us most of the time? It's anxiety, it's stress, far more than physical exhaustion. So the yogi moves through life without stress and anxiety. Doesn't mean you don't work hard or not, depending on your station in life. You may be retired. You may be at the beginning of a career where it's necessary to put in a lot of hours. Have a good time. Sport with it. One of the things that the yogi is able to do is be able to take risks. She's not afraid of failure. If you charge into a project and it doesn't work out, no big deal. All right, Lord, what do you want me to do now? And you go on to the next thing. But we don't want to live life with fear of what might happen, putting the brakes on our creativity and self-expression. We don't let the creative spirit come through us. And just like that arrow that's shot by the hunter, in the end, it's all fundamentally just sport. I want my life to have purpose and meaning. If there's any purpose or meaning to life, it's come home to the Lord. It's an interesting story in the Christian scripture. Jesus is hanging out at the home of his very dear friend Lazarus, the guy he raised from the dead, who had two sisters, Mary and Martha. And it's very close to the crucifixion. Jesus knows it's going to happen. And we don't know how much he told his friends and disciples. But Mary has this alabaster jar of perfumed oil, which is what they use to anoint kings, but also you rub it on the corpse in its burial preparation. It's very expensive. So she breaks the jar open and anoints Jesus's head. Now, Judas was the treasurer of the 12 disciples, and he's outraged. He says, we could have sold that and given money to the poor. And Jesus's answer, yes, we should do good. He says, the poor will be with you always. What she has done is a great act of love. Very interesting little scenario. But as much good as we do in the world, and by all means, if you're drawn to do good, do good. Do good, be good. Serve the society. Think globally, act locally. But the poor will be with us always. That's what Jesus said.
So the implication is like in that story, Martha's heart was in a state of love. So you rather
Mary is the one who did
Oh,
it.
Mary,
Yeah.
sorry. So you rather do actions from that place, and it doesn't matter what actions you do.
Yeah.
To some degree.
Yeah. And it's not about being a do-gooder.
Right.
It's by all means do good. Jesus did enormous good. He fed the 5,000 loaves and fishes, healed people all the time. But that doesn't solve the world's problems ultimately. Doesn't mean not to do it.
Right. That's the other implication of the story. The poor will always be there, meaning it's a never-ending thing.
Yeah. And many people saw Jesus's work that he was a healer and a miracle worker. But he said, why? He was asked, why do you do miracles? And he says, lest they see signs and wonders, they will not believe. His real teaching was seek the kingdom of heaven, which was his language. Come home to the infinite. Next verse.
इति श्री वशिष्ठ संग्रहे देवार्चन विधानं नाम द्वाविंश सर्गः. Thus ends the 22nd chapter titled The Manner of Worshipping the Deity in the Abridgment of Yoga Vasishtha.
Yes. So first then, in the beginning, it is okay to have a dualistic form of worship. The scripture is not saying that worship of a form is wrong or bad. It's not either or, it's first then. When through dualistic worship, the heart and mind have become purer, Ch23, then the mind turns inward. The highest form of worship, the Parama Prema, is to revel in the self. And again, if you want a little more depth teaching on this, I highly recommend Narada Bhakti Sutra, the classic texts on love. All right, going on.
त्रयोविंश सर्गः चिच्छित्ति प्रभावः. Chapter 13, The Glory of the Power of Pure Consciousness.
I like it.
Section 1, Bilva Phalakhyanam, the story of the Bilva fruit.
Now, I'm not sure what a bilva fruit actually is. It's some kind of a a small nut, and out of it grows an enormous tree. Do you know what it is?
No, either.
Yeah. Well, let's see what the story says.
Vasishtha uvacha vasanara hitairanta indrayairahara kriyaha kevalairindrayai sardham vartamanarthavartina asangamena manasa yatkaroshi na tatkritam. Vasishtha said, assume activities with your senses free from mental impressions or knowledge derived from memory within. What you do solely with your organs of senses and action, moving among existing objects, with a mind free from association, that is not done, that is not binding.
So, the simple form of what he's saying here, put your mind where your hands are working. When you're writing a paper, do nothing but write a paper. When you're doing the dishes, do nothing but do the dishes. When you're cooking food, do nothing but cook food. Keep your mind out of the dead past and the unborn future. Stay away from conversations with people who are not in the room. Stay in the now. Keep the mind absorbed in the incredible intensity of the now. Now, the opposite of that. Have you ever had an experience of like you're in the shower and you're washing your hair and you're soaping up stuff like that, and then after a while, did I wash my hair? Anybody, you were almost blacked out because you were thinking about something, or it's some little silly worldly experience. Did I take my vitamins this morning? You weren't even there if you did them. You were thinking of something. That's the opposite of what Vasishtha is talking about. Stay present. I don't know, we have this word, it comes from the current Buddhist traditions of being mindful. I think I'd rather be mind empty than mindful. To be present without a mind full of a lot of thoughts. Any questions on this?
Yes, Jim, this is Sheila. So when you're present and your mind is there washing the dishes, is that a form of reveling in the self?
It can be. In the beginning, it's just being present. But you will find that if you are really single pointed, washing the dishes can bring you great bliss and joy. Swamiji used to say a single pointed mind is as good as no mind. Total absorption into any activity can reveal great bliss. Very good point. Very good question, Sheila. Did that answer your question?
Uh, yes, I think it's a good step towards reaching that goal of
Yes.
reveling in the self, where um, it's a good aspiration for me, but it comes in such glimmers. So going back to the single pointed mind is a good practice. So thank you.
All right, going on.
यथा प्राप्तिक्षणे वस्तु प्रथमं तुष्टये तथा न प्राप्त्य न प्राप्ये कश्नतात् ऊर्ध्वम् इति को नानुभूतवान्. As an object brings satisfaction at first, at the moment of acquisition, it does not do so a moment afterwards. Who has not experienced thus?
Yes. So when desire and object of desire become one, for a moment, the thoughting stops, the craving stops, the vikshepa shakti stops, and I'm happy. But then a moment later, the happiness is gone. And my mind is elsewhere, wanting something else. Everybody's had this experience. These like the shopaholics, if you know anybody where they compulsively shop online. I have met people like they'll have shirts in their closet with the tags still on them. They never wore them. Or jewelry. What is that? QVC or something like that? The shopping network. Getting all sorts of stuff and buying the stuff is the charge. But then the bliss is gone. It's gone. Going on.
वाञ्छाकाले यथा वस्तु तुष्टये नान्यदा तथा तस्मात् क्षणसुखे सक्तिम् बालो भन्नाति नेतरः. As an object brings satisfaction at the time of longing for such object, it does not do so at another time. Therefore, only a child has attachment to momentary pleasure, none other has.
Yes. So if I really want a chocolate cheesecake and I get the chocolate cheesecake and I've eaten a piece and now I'm satisfied, and then someone says, "Ooh, have the rest of the cheesecake." Oh, well, the satisfaction is over for that one. Or all the different things that are purposely designed to stimulate addiction. Now, I'm very fortunate being legally blind because I just don't do TikTok, Tender and Grinder and Schminder or whatever they are. I don't get caught up, but I know lots and lots of people who spend hours scrolling on the phone, and the algorithms figure out what it is that we want to see. It plays to that addictive tendency of the mind to keep us entertained, entertained, entertained. The same thing with like video games, extreme forms of it. You head off to the casino. It's all based on stimulating that adrenaline rush, that addictive tendency of the mind. Or sex. One of Swamiji's funniest lines. If sex were satisfying, we'd only do it once. And the news has been filled with Jeffrey Epstein. What a tragic person. Such addiction. Smart, successful, and pitiable. Really sad. The whole dynamic. A yogi knows exactly what's going on. Sangraha, attachment. The more you get, the more you want. Next verse.
वाञ्छाशने तु यादृतुष्टिः तत्र वाञ्छैव कारणम् तुष्टिस्त्व तुष्टिपर्यन्ता तस्मात् वाञ्छां परित्यज. As regards the satisfaction or pleasure that arises at the moment of longing, only the desire or longing is the cause in that case. Satisfaction is bounded by dissatisfaction. Therefore, renounce desire.
Yes. What's it feel like to want something you don't have? It hurts. When you satisfy the desire, we've gone through this so many times. I made it up what I think is going to make me happy. Because the next person doesn't think that. It's my imagination. And then I determine that it's priya, dear. Then I get proximate to the person, place, thing, or situation that I think will bring me happiness, moda. Then finally, when I achieve it, when desire and object of desire become one, the point of pleasure is a kiss of the bliss of my own self. But in my foolishness, I think it's in that object, which then sows a vasana, makes me want to repeat it. And even if I don't get attached to that particular experience, another desire arises. When I was younger, we used to have a joke, you know what the best date is? After you've made love, she turns into a pizza. Another desire arises right away. Isn't that the human condition? And the more we go down the path of trying to satisfy the multitude of desires, the harder we work. And it's what I call the yogic KKK, not Ku Klux Klan, Kama, Karma, Krodha. Always ends in suffering, always ends in frustration or anger. Because the world is finite and temporary, and the mind is fickle. And even when I get what I want, there's the law of diminishing return. Same object, the bliss I get out of it starts to fade. So here, Vasishtha says, when we finally get it through our thick skull, we develop the desire to be free from desire. Mature vairagya. Now listen carefully. In the end, it rarely works to give up objects out of a sense of morality or trying to be a goody-goody virtuous person. In Gita, Krishna says that person who gets rid of the objects of desire but allows the desire to remain behind is verily a hypocrite. But their desire leaves them upon seeing the Supreme. So how do we develop the desire to be free from desire? By internalizing what is the cause of my suffering. We have to have a clear understanding of what the world has the capacity to give us and not have romantic ideas about it. At best, it's trinkets and baubles. It's not a precious gem. It's shards of colored glass. It's not pearls on a thread. It's pop beads. Of course, there's a little squirt of happiness from the world. You go out to dinner with friends, you have a good meal. Yeah, that was fun. But it's so little. So that's what we have to do. Begin to see what the world and what it's capable of delivering with clear eyes. This is insight. And this is how we develop mature vairagya. That desire to give up attachment to all experiences gained through the senses and to give up all ideas of self, identification with the body, up to and including the form of Brahma, the creator. If we have mature vairagya, abidance in the self is easy. If we do not, our samadhi will be very tenuous at best. Any thoughts on this? Next one.
आशा यातु निराशत्वम् अभावं यातु भावनम् अमनस्त्वं मनो यातु तवासंगेन जीवितः. To you, living without attachment, let desire become or be reduced to desirelessness. Let imagination or ideation be reduced to non-existence. Let the mind be reduced to the state free from the mind or free from thought.
Yes. Meaning I don't believe my thoughts. It's not about a state of insensibility. In meditation, we may have moments where we are completely free from thought, but that's not what it really means. It means to not believe the mind. You can't think a real thought. Don't get involved with it. Don't take it seriously. The only three thoughts we need to banish: one, I think I'm a person. Two, this belief that I'll be happy when either changing or fixing the world or changing or fixing me is what's going to fix it all. And three, the compulsion to struggle. The struggling itself is what's so painful. And becomes the trigger for all our kleshas, our character defects. Because when the world is unable, or the people are unable to deliver what I want, I start to become a jerk. Kama, karma, krodha. The mind of the demoniac. We have usually in our scriptures two different classes of demons, Rakshasas and Asuras. The Rakshasas are the greedy ones. Gimme, 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 more, 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 more. I'm a moron. I want more. Asuras, they're angry. It's not going my way. And those are inside of us. Next one.
वासना प्राणसंरोधात् अनिमेषं मनः कुरु यत्र नाभ्युदितं चित्तं तद्वै सुखम् अनुत्तमम् अत्रे मामवबोधाय रामरम्यां कथां शृणु. By the complete restraint of mental impressions or knowledge derived from memory, and the vital air or bioenergy, make manas or the mind unwinking or steadfastly fixed. Where chitta or the mind stuff which is the seat of memory has not risen, that indeed is unsurpassed happiness. Rama, in this matter, hear a pleasing story for the purpose of knowing or understanding the principle.
So we have to understand that this is pointing towards nirvikalpa samadhi. When all the vasanas have been renounced, exhausted, burnt out. And the renunciation is total. The mind thunders to a stop. And then the no-thingness of the self is clear to the mind. And there's a state that is so serene, so full, so peaceful. But that's not the highest state. When the mind returns from samadhi, we then see the fundamental unreality of the phenomenal world and the mind itself. So even though one is thinking, feeling, acting, none of it ever touches me. And the mind has quit believing itself. This is when the mind has become no mind. This is known as sahaja samadhi, natural or continuous samadhi. Going on.
युगैरप्य चरद्रूपम् अस्ति बिल्वफलं महत् महाकल्पान्तवाप्यायाः अपि वेगै अचालितम्. There is a great bilva fruit, a kind of wood apple, which has a form not growing old or decaying even in yugas or universal ages. It is not shaken even by the force of the whirlwind during universal destruction at the end of a kalpa, or universal age consisting of 1,000 Mahayugas.
So let's find out about this bilva fruit or a wood apple. I have no idea what a wood apple is either. Going on.
वैपुल्येना परिच्छेद्यं मूलमाद्यं जगत्स्थितेः तस्य बिल्वफलस्योच्चैः ब्रह्माण्डानि समीपतः. It cannot be accurately defined by spaciousness. It is the primal root of the continuance of the world. Above that bilva fruit, the universes are near.
So it's a metaphor for that which is the origin of the entire cosmos and everyone and everything in it. It's nowhere located, yet it is the primal cause of it all. It's a metaphor. Going on.
समस्त फलसारस्य फलस्यास्य महाकृतेः अन्तःस्थितत्वमायाति संविच्छक्ति च मत्कृतिः. The spectacle of the powers of pure consciousness attains to the state of existing within this fruit of great deeds, which is the essence of all fruits.
So in a sense, we could call it Hiranyagarbha, the golden egg, the cosmic womb. The stuff of mind with a capital M, in which the great dream of worldly existence takes place. Going on.
Idam vyoma mahanantam yam kalamai kala yam niyatirudhyakta kriyeyam spandarupini brahmanda mandapam chedam ima asha kramohyayam. This sky or space, which is vast and endless, this division consisting of time, this diligent destiny, this activity in the form of motion, this hall of the universe, these regions and their order are all indeed this bilva fruit.
Yes. So it is the primal cause, or we can say it is the ultimate context of all manifestation. Now, I watched a YouTube video this week, and this was Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysicist, and he was saying that some physicists are now saying that the entire phenomenal universe exists inside a black hole, which exists in another universe. And that universe exists inside a black hole that's in another universe, like nested dolls,
Like a
layers.
fractal.
What?
Those are fractals.
Yeah. But just mind-boggling, this whole idea. So if that be true, we could say that black hole in which the universe exists is the bilva fruit. It's just amazing. Just amazing. Going on.
Sri Rama Vacha Bhagavan Sarvasaragnya Tvayesha Bilvarupini Mahachid Ghana Satteha Kathiteti Mati Mama. Sri Rama said, Revered sage, knower of all that is essential, it is my view that the existence of the great plenary consciousness has been here described by you in the form of this bilva fruit.
Yes. So consciousness plenary, meaning it is everywhere, pervading everything. This is what's been indicated by the build of root. So again, this entire text can be reduced to 3 questions. Who am I? What is this world? How has it come about? And we need to be rooted in the answer to all 3. Who am I? Aham Brahmasmi. The self in me is Brahman, is consciousness itself. I'm not a piece or a part of consciousness. I'm not a drop of Brahman. The self in me is indivisible. What is this world? This world is also nothing but consciousness appearing as name and form. Well, if that be so, how to get here? By means of imagination. Whose imagination? Yes. The Lord, the total mind of all beings in the universe, or not. Part of the mystery. Just don't think that you as an individual are making stars happen. But you, the infinite, are making it all happen. How? Sankalpena, by means of imagination. Going on.
Section 2.
Let's stop here. It's 5 of them. We can begin this next section when we take up the text. Is it a long section? We got about 4 minutes.
Yeah, there's about 5 verses in this.
We can maybe do all 5. Let's try it.
Mahashilakyanam, the story of the great rock.
No, let's not. Let's take it next time. Okay, we'll end here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.